So today I am joined by rugby legend Kim Oliver. Hello, Kim.
Hello.
Kim's a bit modest and shy, however, I'll big her up. She played for England 43 times. She played in the Premiership for many years for Bristol Bears and has coached not one but two Premiership teams. So, Kim, did I miss anything?
I have a black belt in judo.
I actually wrote that down. I wrote it down, but I'm glad you brought it up. So I didn't want to big it up too much. But a woman of many talents, let's say. And obviously, we've known each other for many, many years, more years than I care to admit. But we did Oldfield Rugby Academy together back in the day when we were 16. You were 17, 18, were you?
I was probably 25.
Probably 25, yeah, doing retakes.
Still at school.
School. Yes, my memory from that was you just eating Marmite, and that was about it. That's my main
Yeah.
memory from you from there.
My main memory as well.
Yeah, just a lot of Marmite. Then we played England together for a fair few years, and we played against each other at club as well. When I played
Yeah.
for Worcester, and you played for Bristol. So, thanks for joining us today. And what I thought we'd
No
do is talk
worries.
about some rugby.
Excellent. I can do that.
Yeah, cool. So what we'll do is we'll talk about the season as a whole, and then we'll talk a little bit more about your current coaching role at Ealing and plans for the future and etc.
Yep.
with that. So to start with, not just about Ealing, but the whole Premiership, what did you make of last season?
I think it was a really good season, really competitive, probably one of the best competitive seasons we've had. Two completely different teams in the final. Obviously, I know Gloucester were there last year, but normally for the last few years it's been Saracens and Harlequins in the top, and I think it just shows how competitive and how varied the league is now, which is, I think, only a positive.
Yeah, well, the last 2 years, it's been non-London teams in the final, which, as we know, has been unheard of before that, and it was dominated by many years by London clubs. Not to try and put you on the spot, but why do you think that there's been a bit of a West Country takeover?
West Country's best, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe people realise that living in London's not the high life. I think, well, I mean, Gloucester, Hartpury, since Sean Lynn's taken over, have done amazingly well. He's definitely doing something right there. I mean, he's a nice guy. That's about all I know about him, but he seems nice. He's recruited exceptionally well, I think, and they play a really exciting brand of rugby. They've got a fantastic kicker, and that's about what you need, isn't it? I just Yeah, I think a lot of the dominance from the London clubs was because with England you had to live in London, so it brought a lot of players up. Especially like the Sevens program brought a lot of players to London, and I think now you can kind of live where you want. It means that players can go and experience other parts of the country, which I think is really important, especially the West Country because it is best.
Absolutely, and a few players obviously moved down to Exeter, like Claudia
Hmm.
McDonald moved as soon as they were allowed to go across, and then you're bringing more players across, more clubs, which is fantastic. And then Ealing, you finished sixth. You finished
Yep.
above Quince. Was that a target? Was that what you were aiming for? Did you exceed it? How did that feel?
To be honest, first season in, I think we just wanted to do focus on us and do as well as we could. It is hard to recruit when in your first year. I think Giselle did it as a great job, but it is hard because people don't want to take a risk. Um, Players that maybe only have a year left on their contract or are up for renewal will stick with what they know rather than having a risk and going and trying out a new club. So I think that may well change, or that probably will change in the next couple of seasons. But yeah, we just we brand new team come together and we did as well as we could. And to be honest, it's been really enjoyable.
Oh, fantastic and good to hear. And you've got some signings. I've heard a rumour of a Scotland international coming to join your back three.
I can't tell you. Oh, it's gone out now.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
I
gone
can tell
out.
you.
Yeah, I
Yes.
wasn't trying to
Uh,
trick you. Yeah.
yeah, Chloe Rowley has come, which is really cool. I've never actually met Chloe Rowley. I've obviously seen her run around a few people and step a few people. But yeah, so that's exciting, isn't it? A new back three member is always good.
Yeah, and I know I'm back three biased, but I thought that was a really good sign in, and I think she can add a lot to your back line. And obviously, you're not short of pace. You've got a couple of GB7s girls going off to the Olympics. How proud are you of them as a coach?
Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it? I think, I haven't obviously had a lot to do with their coaching. I've known Amy Wilson Hardy for years and years. So yeah, but I think it's amazing, isn't it, to go to the Olympics? And I think to go there and do that, and just yeah, it's you can't not be proud, can you? You can't not think of how inspiring that is to others.
Amazing. And then hopes then for next season for Ealing. So you've come sixth in your first season in the Prem. What next?
Fifth, fourth, third, second, first. I don't know.
Yeah,
Look, I think we just do as well as we can. We did struggle at set piece this year. It's hard when you come against a Sarries, a Quins. They have a very good mauling game. Loughborough as well. So I think we need to get better at that, or maybe not giving away penalties and allowing them to kick into the corner. We need to manage our game a bit better. But yeah, look, I think we can, as long as we do better than we've done this year. Obviously the aim is always going to be top four, and I think if we get it right, then we can definitely do that.
amazing. And you mentioned top four there. So looking ahead to next season, who do you think? Let's take. Well, actually, no, you can. I can even make it easy and take Ealing out for you, so you don't have to answer that question, or leave it in and you go for it. But who do you think are going to be top four this season?
Well, you have to go Gloucester, don't you? I mean,
Yeah,
that's a given. Sarries have never not been in the top four, so you've got to go Sarries. I think Chiefs have done really well the last few seasons. They're very strong. A little bit off this season. I don't think they were quite as successful. Um, and
well, they
then,
lost a
well,
fair few players, didn't they, when the new
yeah,
wings came in? So, I
yeah,
mean, you got Kate Zachary, for example, coming from
yeah,
Exeter to join you guys. So
yeah,
fantastic for you. But Exeter's
yeah.
lost, and they did definitely struggle. But do you think that's something? Do you think they're going to be contenders again for the top four this year and bounce back?
They're a hard club to beat. It wouldn't surprise me. They've got a fantastic coach in Suze, and yeah, I think they're going to do very well. They're very physical.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think probably, and then the next slot, in my opinion, is probably a little open. So you've got obviously Harlequins, you've got Loughborough, you've got us.
yeah.
Um,
Not mentioned Bristol in there, and they made the final. Do you think that
oh,
was a one hit?
that's
Yeah.
no, that's because I forgot about Bristol. Apologies.
Okay.
I forgot Bristol made the final. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
oh no, no, I sound silly.
No, you
Oh
don't.
yeah,
Not at all.
Bristol,
Yeah.
Bristol make the top four. So
Bristol.
that's 5 teams. That's 5 teams now I've got in top
Yeah.
four. So
Yeah.
I guess we just get rid of one.
Yeah,
So,
perfect. It'll work itself out.
yeah, I think yeah. So there you go. So that's going to be a really hard fought top five if you've
Yes.
got Bristol in there as well. And Dave Ward's done a fantastic job at Bristol. Obviously Rideau leading the way. Yeah, they've got some new younger players. That winger's been fantastic for them this year. So I think they're going to be a massive threat again. Fair play to them for getting to the final. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be interesting.
I think as well for non-London girls like me and you, like, I played for Worcester for my entire career. You played for Bristol, and we were just so used to seeing the London clubs dominate it. There is something nice in seeing other clubs reach it, and obviously it was Exeter reaching the final last year, and then Bristol this year. And it's nice seeing those different names come in. But I do wonder about the Sarries and those types of clubs, of what they then can do to step back into the mix, because they do very well in the league. Saracens always do well in the league, but then the last 2 years haven't made the final. So yeah, it will be an interesting one for them.
Yeah, I guess it will depend on who they recruit, and if they recruit well. Obviously, a massive loss, Sophie de how do you say her surname?
Goody?
Yeah, her
Yeah,
massive loss for them. She's now injured, isn't she? So that, and she was, pushing on being the best player in the world by far. So that's a huge loss for them. They're going to have to replace her somehow. So yeah, I think it will depend massively on if Alex recruits and how well he manages to recruit, because I don't know that they've recruited hugely the last couple of seasons, but they have always been very successful. So we'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned enjoying your job, which is always good. What's great? What's your favourite thing about coaching?
Well, my job is like split between coaching and mentoring, so that I get two different sides of it. I get to know the girls really well in a coaching capacity, and helping them become better rugby players. But then I also get to kind of delve in a little bit into how they're feeling day to day, and we've got a lot of youngsters. I've got a few of the girls from Henley College that I coached that have come up to Trail Finders, and it's been really cool to be able to help them and support them on their journey, and be someone that they can turn to if they need to. Being, it is hard being an 18-year-old going into a Premiership club, which is all elite. I think it's hard to. I think it's a really important role, and it's a role that I really enjoy.
Yeah, and obviously last year with the Henley College and then being kind of younger and coming through, a lot of your mentoring skills were really key in getting them up to scratch and confident. And a few of the girls that you coached then are now in the England under 20s, aren't they, over in the Six
Yeah.
Nations carving up. So again, proud coaching moment for you, seeing the young ones shine.
Ah, that's probably my proudest coaching moment. Having having an impact on those kids is huge for me. Yeah, they were like 15 when I met them, and now they're 18, 19 year olds going out into the world and absolutely smashing it on the pitch. So yeah, there's no way I couldn't be immensely proud of them.
That's amazing. And I think that as former players ourselves, the people and the times you remember are very much guided by your coaches when you're younger. And it is a really
Yeah.
important pathway, and it can affect your confidence in positive ways and negative ways. So actually seeing them thrive and knowing you've had a mentoring, guiding role in that, and coaching role, of course, like must be,
Yeah.
yeah, being really, really good for you. So that's
Yeah, I
great.
think we got it right at college. I mean, we also got it wrong sometimes, but myself and Aaron Lowe, who are the coaches for the girls program, just tried really hard to give them as much support as we could, and then we had a fantastic physio and S&C that were all really really understanding. It was hard for the girls coming in straight after COVID, dealing with moving away from home, new friendships, loads of things going on, and I think it was just a matter of trying to be really understanding, making sure that we were getting the best out of them on the pitch, but also allowing them to almost like be kids
Yeah.
at the same time. And dealing with emotion is tough.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And then what would the on the flip side of it, and it can be funny if you like, but what's the hardest part of coaching or the toughest part of coaching?
It's hard to coach people that already know everything. Very
Okay.
hard to coach people that already know everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that experience. I've been coaching a long time, and that's probably one of the hardest things to deal with is you try and give someone something. Oh, yeah, I do it this way, or yeah, I know. Okay, do you want to do it? No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really tough. What else is hard? Just I guess constantly being switched on yourself as well. I'm a bit of a fool, as you know, but I think that works as well. I bring a bit of normality to training. I think it can be very serious. I know one of the girls said to me that I bring a bit of normality and a bit of fun to stuff, which kind of allows them to just chill out. So, but I got to get that balance right because I can't always be the clown.
Yes,
Um,
yeah, definitely. But as a coaching squad, quite good to have those different personalities so people can
yeah,
relax. So, were you at the session many years ago where Jeff Richards came and did so former Australian fullback and also coached us? He did a back three session, and every single one of us must have dropped every ball because we were so nervous because he had a presence,
yeah,
didn't he, about him? He was a very
yeah.
intimidating
He
man.
still does.
Yeah, yeah,
He still
he
does.
scares me. But yeah, and then as soon as it was Giselle was there as well, actually, obviously your coach at the minute, and so she when she'd been coaching us and we were doing really well, and then he came over and we all just dropped all the balls, and then she looked at us like, what is going on? Because she's got that more nurturing side,
Yeah,
a more relaxed side. So as a partnership, it can work very well because Jeff did, you got good results with him, but at
yeah,
times obviously could be quite intimidating. When did you
yeah,
see when he
definitely.
kicked the spiral kick? And luckily it was me and Amber Penrith, and he picked Amber to demo, and he kicked it so hard at her from about 10 meters away, and it was like into her gut. She basically flew back about 10 meters, but she caught it.
He
Yeah.
he introduced that game where you'd like stand 5 meters from each other and just boot it as hard as you could at each other.
Yeah.
Like, and if you caught it, fair play, and if not, and your like fingers would be mangled, and you'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah. No, I
pretty sure
remember
about
it.
this game.
And
Not sure
poor
about this game."
Amber, yeah, just got it
Yeah.
in the gut. And we also did with him the tap tackles from behind, where you just had to jog,
Oh,
and then somebody would just
awful.
end you, and it was and also the dump tackling one, where you just had a pad behind you, and someone would pick you up and dump tackle you, and you'd hope you'd hit the pad. So I like how we deviated to the good old times, but those experiences are what's important, and you're letting
Yeah,
players like learn and have
definitely.
different coaching styles. I'm actually going to refer to my notes for the first time because actually we've just been
Okay.
chatting away and see if there's anything that I wanted to ask about. Actually, the final itself. What did you think of the final?
It was two half, a game of two halves, wasn't it? The
Yeah,
old cliche, but Bristol were very much on top in the first half, and yeah, I thought they played exceptionally well, and then I mean, were Gloucester off their game, or were Bristol just very good? Who knows? Because then in the second half, it kind of changed, and Gloucester took control. So, what does that come down to? Does that come down to game management? Does it come down to when you put your subs on? Does it come down to, well, who knows? But
yeah,
it,
mix of
it,
balls.
it definitely was a game, yeah, game of two halves, and but yeah, Gloucester are just very, very good.
I think with Gloucester, they know how to win and they're very
Yeah.
comfortable and confident that it's something they can do. And they've got that winning mentality. And do you think there is a team out there that can beat them in a final next year, or if should they make it, or do you think that it could be a Gloucester 3 years running?
I think there will be. I mean, every team's beatable, aren't they? But
Yeah,
they lost one game, didn't they?
yeah, they
Didn't they
lost in
lose
the
to?
league. Yes,
Did they lose
yeah,
to? I mean, I think potentially if you look at the first half, if Bristol kept that, Bristol could
yeah,
beat them. I mean, Saracens, you always look and go, well, they can beat any team on their day.
yeah.
So yeah, I think they are beatable. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen injuries wise or anything. So yeah, it'll be. I think it's going to be another competitive season, which is
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah, and obviously World Cup next year. What are your kind of
Christ.
thoughts on World Cup?
Oh, I haven't even thought about it really. It's here, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
in
nothing.
England. Yeah, yeah. The,
I know.
the finals at
I know nothing.
Twickenham, and the
Oh,
aim is to sell it
wow!
out,
First
which I
time.
yeah, which I think they will be able to do. I think that'll be very good. And what do you think the well, yeah, well, I guess as a tournament as a whole, like we've been getting, rugby in England has been getting more and more crowds, more and more support, and that's all fantastic. Do you think that is going to put England in good stead for the final and moving forward, or do you think there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders?
I think there's always been pressure on England's shoulders because they've never really been the underdogs.
Yeah,
But I think being that I know we've won a World Cup, but we've never beaten New Zealand in a World Cup
yeah,
final.
yeah,
That to me is a huge challenge. And I say if it's in England New Zealand final, well, you never know, do you? I mean, we got close this year, but and we did really well considering we had 14 girls on the pitch. But I
yeah,
think you never know what France are going to bring. Canada's going really well. They just won WXV. No, not WXV. Pack four.
yeah,
They just won Pack four. So yeah, I think it's a bit of an unknown, really. Got another year to kind of go
yeah.
and find out. But
Well,
yeah,
it's
you
World
always
Cup.
expect England,
Yeah,
don't you?
and finals are different, aren't they? So 2010, England faced New Zealand. 2006. Sorry, they lost. 2010, they lost. 2017, they lost. 2021, they lost, or 22. Sorry, because it moved because of COVID. And but on pretty much all of those occasions, or at least from 2010, the year before, England have beaten New Zealand. They've beaten them in
Mm.
WXV. They've beaten them in standalone. They've beaten them in tournaments. It's not that England have a problem beating New Zealand. England have a problem beating them in finals, and
Yeah,
that,
so
yeah,
yeah, what either we're getting something wrong or they're getting something right. That's how it feels, doesn't it?
yeah,
So why are we beating them 50 points, for
yeah,
instance, in WXV and then losing to them very closely in a World Cup final? Does it come? I don't know what. Does it come down to the fact that we get too confident? I can't imagine that is the case. I know England are always accused of being arrogant, but having been a Red Rose, I don't believe that that's the case at
yeah,
all. I think we expect to win, but every team does, don't they?
yeah,
Yeah, New Zealand get something right. They definitely
yeah,
get something right, and maybe it's just that they really love beating England in the World Cup final. Maybe they
yeah.
just set us up to fail. Who
Yeah.
knows? It's a
I
game.
think the stars aligned for them last year. I think having them, so last year, sorry, 2022, when they did come over here and they lost by 50 points to us and to France, and they were going into this World Cup, new coach, so everybody was sort of written against them.
Yeah.
That semi-final, they only won in the last sort of second, and if France had got that, get the kick, which
Yeah.
you would have backed her to get nearly every other time, missed it. They go through to the final. England obviously lose a player to a red card, lose Lily Thompson, and then they have to play with 14 for the majority of the game. So I think there was just something in the stars for New Zealand but I also believe they were always in something was always going to happen. Like it couldn't be
Yeah.
that. Like
But
it was just their day.
I think we did lose. Obviously, we lost Lydia, but
Yeah,
they also lost Portia Woodman, and that's a massive confidence thing for them.
huge, huge.
So I
Yeah.
know I knew they brought someone else. I know they brought someone else on, but that person wasn't starting the World
Yes.
Cup final, and there's a reason why you start a World Cup final. So I
Yeah.
think, like, she's a finisher. She's an out and out finisher, and they didn't have her on the pitch.
Yeah.
Would she have had other opportunities? We don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, like I say, England did amazingly well considering we had 14 players for such a long time. Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no, you're right.
don't know,
Portia
do
Woodman,
you?
she's announced her retirement, hasn't she? She's
Yeah, I
announced her
saw. Yeah.
retirement from rugby after the Olympics. So be really good to see that. Are you going to any of the Olympics? Are you watching on TV? What's your plan Olympic
Oh,
wise?
I'll watch it. I'll watch it on TV. I will not go. Too many people. You know, I don't like people. Don't like crowds. I get impatient when people walk slowly.
That is very, very true. I think no, I am heading out there. I've got tickets for the quarters for the women's, which will be nice to see. And I'm doing some
Oh,
Five
nice.
Live work for the other days. So that'll be nice to get to talk about some sevens. Anything else you want to cover? I want to talk about rugby wise, whether it's coaching, whether it's memories or anything else you kind of do while I got you?
I know. I mean, we have many memories, mate, but
Do you have
probably not
many
many we should talk about on here.
yeah.
Um, Trying to remember when I was playing 12 for Bristol, and then they looked at the team sheet, and you're at 13 against us, and I was like, oh, well, that's not good because I have to try and catch her somehow. Like, it's all right when you're on the wing, it's not my job. And I remember just going, oh, she's definitely getting the corner. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
catching her. It's like,
Go for the
13,
corner.
13. We're not playing drift today. We'll go hard out. You go.
Yeah. Yeah. But with your black
Man
belt
on.
in judo, if I was caught, then it's game
Yeah,
over for
that's
me.
fine.
So
That's fine. It's fine. Just
yeah,
throw
that's
you
the
on the floor
balance.
and put you in an arm lock. And
Yeah, exactly. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us
no worries.
today. Do make sure if you're watching and you've enjoyed this style of content that you like and you subscribe so you can see some more rugby content. If you want to suggest our next guest, then comment down in the comments for who you want to see. Who can top Kim Oliver? I don't think there is anyone, but if you do think there's someone out there, then drop those comments in. So, Kim, thank you very much.